Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Razer King of the Beta Tournament, Day 4. Giant thanks to Razer for sponsoring this tournament. As most of the gamers in the channel should know, Razer makes pretty much the best mice out there for competitive gaming. I personally have used them since I was a fetus, basically. I don't even remember the last mouse I had before Diamondback, since I've pretty much used it my whole Starcraft career. But anyways, we will be jumping directly into Series 2, HuK against Tester. HuK, who has played brilliantly thus far, but hasn't quite been able to close out a series against his opponents. He is currently 0-2 in his group. Tester is 1-0, defeating Idra in 2 decisive games. So this will be a Protoss vs. Protoss coming up right now. For any of you who are curious about attending the Final Four, the semifinals, and the finals of the Razer King of the Beta, you can attend my StarCraft 2 countdown party live at day9tv.eventbrite.com. It will be in Los Angeles, California, held at Harvey Mudd College. So big thanks to them. And you know what? Since we're on the topic of thanks to all you kind viewers who are attending and watching and hooting and hollering in the stream. I know that, you know, if you're at home, you're probably screaming at your computer, probably just as much as I am. And also, I want to give mad props to Ustream. There were a little bit of lag issues in days 1 and 2, and oh my goodness, did they come to the rescue like 5 seconds after I asked for help, and everything seems to be smooth sailing from there on out. So big props to them. We will be going into HuK versus Tester right now. The game is currently loading. Brief background that we said at the start of this cast. Tester is one of the top players in the world. Many consider him the strongest Protoss player out there right now. He is on the team OGS in South Korea that has been winning all the major team leagues. And HuK, of course, is the beastly American Protoss who has been dominating in the ITV or in the IC Cup TV Star Leagues and many other American tournaments as well. We are going directly into Game 1 between Tester and HuK. This is Group B. HuK down 0-2 in his group, despite going 1-2 in each of those best-of-5s. We do have HuK spawning here at the top, and his trademark play in the early game is to have the crazy rally points, as we see that orange line is getting spammed all over the place. And in the left position, we have Tester spawning as the red Protoss. Probably many of you will note that both Tester and Into the Rainbow played under the same ID. OGS has one ID for the American servers. So that's why we get to see OGS SSKS playing twice. That is actually 2 different players. Either that or Tester's clever enough to figure out a way to play Terran and Protoss at a high level. Either way, both players opening pretty normally. HuK with his trademark scouting on 8 move. Tester already setting up to create a nice wall-off with his buildings at the front. And here comes the good old HuK probe zap in action, making sure that he can block and be as annoying as humanly possible at the outset of the game. Now, we did get the chance to see Tester play against White Ra on this map in these identical positions. And in Protoss vs. Protoss, Tester loves going for some sort of crazy blink plays at the outset. HuK is also a player who has a very dominant Protoss vs. Protoss style, loves one basing, loves being very aggressive with early gateway robotics facility pushes. So we'll see if that's consistent in this game. HuK loves devoting all his energy to chrono boosting his probes early. Look at that late gas on 15, trademark HuK play. And Tester doing everything pretty much standardly, throwing down his assimilator and gateway at the usual times of 13 and 14. HuK continuing to zap away at this pylon. Might seem silly, but really you can do enough damage that, look at this, Tester's already pulling one of his workers off to do a little attacking action himself. There's a cybernetics core going down for Tester, and second pylon up for HuK as well. Real curious to see what the follow-through is going to be from Tester. Actually, this may have been a slightly earlier gateway, as that cybernetics core does feel pretty early. It is going down before the pylon. I was so obsessed with the fact that that probe harass is so annoying that, oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, I believe I have found the second pylon. So sneaky, so obnoxious, and you know 99% of players hide it back here in the smoke because the map designer basically said, hey, look, there's smoke, hide stuff here. And we players go, okay, I guess that's what I'm doing. But Tester fooling everyone by throwing it down at the bottom side of the map. God bless me for being someone who's mentally trained to watch the mini-map like a hawk. Either way, oh my god, pulling guys out of gas? This is some sort of crazy warp gate push by Tester. Look at the Mondo cheese. This is the build that broke Protoss vs. Protoss at the early stages of the beta, saving up Chrono Boost, devoting everything to the Warp Gate, and only bringing in Zealous to the back of the main. And look at Tester running around with a probe. It's at 3 health. Oh, barely manages to slide out here and escape. I guarantee you Tester is begging to keep that alive as long as possible. There's the pylon going down. Oh, 4 Warp Gates. Huge aggressive push coming up from Tester. And look, saving 100% of his Chrono Boost to try to kill this or to try to get this warp gate up as fast as possible. HuK very far behind on his warp gate. Now getting some stalkers up is going to need to have enough units up. But look at this. Tester is making way more pylons than HuK can hope to deal with. Tester really doing a lot of damage. And as I train myself to say Tester and not Into the Rainbow last game, I fear that I might start calling Tester Into the Rainbow. So whatever, that really strong Korean guy who keeps winning tournaments with Protoss is warping in more pylons than HuK can hope to kill off with his Zealots and Stalkers. And it seems like all the warp gates are coming. The warp gate upgrade is now finished for Tester. Here comes the huge push. Where will he warp them in? It looks like all 4 at the bottom and going straight for that worker line. HuK trying to kill off as many as possible. And it looks like not enough time. Now HuK is trying to wrap around with his Stalkers to kill off all these, and all the probes being drawn off mining. Very dangerous situation for HuK to be in, but HuK is doing a beautiful job defending. But here comes 4 more Zealots from Tester doing serious damage. Here's the 4 warp gates finally finishing for HuK. HuK should be warping in only Stalkers here, so that way he can hope to micro against this. This is going to be really hard for Tester to be able to defend this, as all these Stalkers can out micro. HuK having everything way behind because Tester devoted all of his chrono boost to those warp gate upgrades, is now in a really dangerous situation. HuK's trying to do the best micro that he can, but look at how few probes HuK has. Tester just doing incredible amounts of damage. Few of the Zealots follow the Stalkers. The rest of the Zealots track down the probes. Tester is doing an amazing job, is already saving up for the next round of Zealots coming out. And it looks like Tester's even had enough money to put guys back in mining, and HuK, with a way too low of an SCV count, or as I like to call it, a probe count, we'll have to try to figure out a way to win in the second game, because that was just a little bit too much to bear. The Zealot timing was just brutal, and this one key pylon, the only pylon that was able to stay alive, but it was enough for Tester to warp in an insane amount of Zealots into that main. So currently Tester is up 1-0. We will be back with Game 2 in just a brief moment.